Hey guys, it's me, Maxxy Rainbow.
And I'm Renata from the 𝗍𝗍.
And welcome back to episode 18 of the 𝗫𝗍𝘆 podcast. Woohoo! In this episode, it's been a little bit of a slower week compared to last week when we had literally 15 artists announced, 20 national selections going on, etc., etc., etc. This week, we had the Eurovision documentary come out. We had actually FickMiss happened. We had the Albanian artist selected from FiK. We had the Eurovision Awards. We also had the artist for 𝗍𝗍𝗆, which is Serbia's national selection, and the songs and artists announced for Moldova, as well as at the very end of this episode, we are going to be going over our ESC 250 votes because by the time this airs, ESC 250 will be happening like 2 days after that. The new year will be happening. This is the last episode in the new year. So I think it's appropriate.
Yes, this is the end of 23, so our last 2023 episode.
Yes,
but the next time we film on Tuesdays, which will be the first of the year, we're going to film on, oh my God, wow. Moving on into the new year together with everyone in this joint slaying our way into 2024.
Yes, exactly. So there is actually a lot to go over in this episode, but before we do that, we want to give a little shout out to our patrons. These are people who went over to patreon.com/𝗫𝗍𝘆 podcast and subscribed over there to support the podcast, to support me and Renata. And also, if you subscribe, you get access to the full-length video episodes of every single podcast. That's right. You know, when that little thing pops up on the screen, if you're on YouTube and it says, oh, subscribe to Patreon if you want to see the rest of the video, that's where you can find it. And if you're listening on Spotify and everything like that, that's where you can see the full length video episode, as well as some Patreon exclusive videos that we are going to start doing more on Patreon. So this week on the Patreon, we did a Patreon exclusive where we reacted to the Eurovision documentary that was just released on YouTube on Christmas Day. So if you want to see us react to that documentary, if you haven't seen it and you want to do a little watch party with us, head over to the Patreon and subscribe. And of course, if you subscribe, you will also get a shout out at the beginning of the episode, like the following people. So shout out to Meredith, Danielle, Opili, Alistair, Russell, Shoegazer, Daniel, Kathleen, Suniva, Norbert, Jackson, and Henny. So shout out to everyone who subscribed to our Patreon and supported us over there. And shout out to everybody who has been supporting us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and just everywhere in life in general. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting the podcast. And without further ado, let's get into the episode. Alrighty. So the first big, this is the big piece of news, I feel like, for the week, which is actually Albania's national selection, 𝗍𝗍𝗆 𝗥𝗍𝗆 62, happened. So, you know, our annual FickMiss occurred. And so that it occurred, it happened over the span of like 4 days. And that maybe, yeah, it was 4 days. Yeah, I think it was 4 days, 4 or 5. I think it was 4 days.
I thought it was 3.
No, because there were 2, they split them up. So it was 2 like semifinals, and then they did a covers night, and then they had the final. So yeah, so that all happened. We did not watch the shows. I know I didn't. I'm assuming you didn't either.
No.
We have not listened in full to every single song, full transparency. We watched recaps of them, and I saw a lot of songs like on the timeline and stuff like that, and I made it a point to listen to the important ones, the ones that have won awards, the fan favorites, just so I kind of had some background knowledge. But frankly, I'm going to be honest, I watched the recap, and I can just say, and I was seeing people on the timeline talk about it too, it was a weak year for FiK. FiK used to low-key hit back in the day. And just something about the year Ronella won, and ever since then, it has just been downhill. Like, I don't know what's going on with it, because I feel like they're trying to make efforts to like combat the rigging allegations, but it's not working.
No, it seems worse than ever.
It seems worse. Like, it's actually wild. I'm like, low key go back to juries. Like, what's going on here? I don't know. I'm so confused. And the songs just sucked. And like, even in relation to that, so 3 artists actually withdrew from FiK before the show even went on. One of those people was 𝗫𝗫𝗁𝘆 from Eurovision 2009. She was one of the ones people were really anticipating going. I don't know if it's Casey, but it's 𝗫𝗫𝗁𝘆. But she withdrew. She was one of the 3 people that withdrew. And again, same with for Croatia, like they were replaced. And there were 31 artists competing. We didn't need to replace them. We didn't. They could have we just could have dropped by 3 people, because even the weird thing was half of them were automatic qualifiers, but they still competed in the semifinals. And then of the semifinals, only 9 artists didn't compete out of or only 9 artists didn't qualify out of 31. Only 9.
What's the point of doing semifinals like that?
Yeah. I don't know what the point is. One of those artists that did not qualify was, I'm sure it's not pronounced 𝗠𝘅𝘅𝘆𝗥𝗶, because I feel like it's not Luan. But his song was one of the fan favorites. His was low-key the one that I saw everywhere. Everybody was talking about it, like potential winner. I saw it. I even felt like, oh my God, this is so different. He didn't even qualify. And bitch, only 5 people didn't qualify out of that. Like, and he was one of them. That blew my mind. I love that song. I just felt like it needed of note. That was the one that was very like modern, kind of had like an electronic sound to it. And it was like very culty and eerie and dark and weird, and it was creepy, and it had like this chanting. It felt like a cult song. But it was so cool. I thought it was just really almost ahead of the game and like too modern for FiK, like in a way.
Well, FiK is one of the ones that's a bit more traditional anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad to me that it's kind of fallen off in this way. And we've discussed before about like the release method, where like the songs get released on the night and how that kind of hurts the contest. And I think the fact that they're no longer like the first one, like where it used to be that, Christmas was the kickoff of everything.
Yeah.
And they totally lost that now. So it just now it just feels like actually a bad time of year to be doing this contest, because it was like, I was paying attention to other stuff.
That's true.
If we didn't already have a few Eurovision songs and we didn't already have some national finals happen, like it would have felt a lot more like exciting and urgency. Like I remember back in 2021, which was the year Manila won, right? Because she performed in 2022. I was so locked in. Like I was really, really into that. Like I watched every single night. I remember being at my friend's family's house, and like I downloaded so many of those songs, and even like they had like a duets night, which was really cool.
Oh, it was sick.
It was awesome. And then it's just like, to go from being as keyed in as I was to like literally, I watched the 2 songs. I watched the jury winner and the public vote winner before we filmed. And I was even thinking to myself, like, wow, it's crazy that like I didn't like follow this at all, that I wasn't like hooked, to watch, which is, it's too bad.
Yeah, it definitely is. So the other weird thing okay, because like listening to all the songs, number one, none of them stood out, period. Like they all pretty much blended together, except for that Luan one. And then I will say, okay, so we could get into the winners. So there are 2 winners of FiK. There's the winner of the jury and the winner of the televote. The winner of the jury is considered the winner of FiK. The winner of the televote is the winner that goes to Eurovision, right? So they're not even really a winner. They're just the winner of the televote. I find that weird that like, so the person who won the jury and therefore won FiK was Mal, and he is considered the winner of FiK, which is just it's a little strange. I feel like it should be combined, like combined results, that sort of thing. Like to me, that makes sense.
And the public vote was only Albanians voting in the public vote, or was it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think any.
So it would make sense to me if they had the winner be like the jury vote, and that's like the winner of FiK, and then the Eurovision song was a public international vote, like checked it.
That's true.
Because like if it like public, the purpose of public voting on the international level, especially now with the not being able with the public vote only semifinals, you're more likely to get into the final if you have international public support.
Mm-hmm.
Where it almost seems like I don't necessarily know what they should do, but it's like if the winner of FiK should be like the Albanians, like people's winner. Like I don't understand what the difference is between the jury and the public. Like why does but also wouldn't you want to have jury input on the song you send to Eurovision, because it will have to face a jury if it gets to a final?
Well, that's the thing is, I feel like because it's not unheard of that for a country to not have international televoting in a national selection, right? But the ones that do that, they at least have their jury, and a lot of times they'll have an international jury as well, incorporated into that. So like I think Melfest does that, right? Like they don't have international people voting for the songs for the televote, but they have an international jury to like make up for that, because you need to have people that are voting for the best interest of the country and voting on the way that the actual people who will be watching and able to vote for you will be voting, to like kind of replicate that in some way, because it doesn't really make any sense, because like in a way, when like what do you, if you win FiK, what's okay, so you won FiK.
I mean, maybe that means something within Albania, but
I don't think it does. It's like you're not San Remo,
right?
Like I don't know. But so we could talk about his song. So Mal, he sung I was gonna try to say it, but it's like CMENDUR, but the C has a little doo at the bottom. I don't know what sound that makes.
I think it makes like a k sound.
Commander. I don't know.
Maybe.
But we'll just say Mal. We'll say Mal. So Mal, I'm gagged. I'm shocked. To be honest, how this won the jury. Like I said on Twitter, girl, the jurors were horny. The jurors must have all been in heat watching these performances, because there's no way. His vocal was atrocious.
It was bad.
It was really, really bad. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like I do kind of like him. Like I actually kind of was rooting for him out of the two, because he just seems like fun. He actually seems kind of sweet to me, in like a weird, like broy straight boy way. But like he's also wearing a skirt, and like his Instagram, his captions are all like swearing like crazy, and like, oh my fucking god, I can't fucking believe we fucking what. Like I don't know. He's to me. I get it. It's kind of like an ick of like that straight boy, like, let's go, whoa, that sort of thing.
He was a bit too jacked for my taste, honestly. I was like, this guy's a gym rat in a way that's like a little overboard.
Yeah, he definitely is, but I don't know, something about him, he was speaking to me. I think it was the skirt, but it was not good. But I liked his personality. Like I don't know, something about, he was at least interesting. Like watching the recap, it was truly like so boring, and I just thought like, oh my god, this is just absurd, because like truly I don't get the point of doing something like this, where like, is this just the taste, or like what? Because these songs all were so boring, no uniqueness, nothing interesting. It just was so. And then there's there's these certain people that just come every year, Castro Zizo, and it's like, stop. Like, stop. This is so, you're not bringing anything. It's just a mess. But yeah, I was just gagged that he won the jury. It was wild. I actually would have, if anything, expected it to be flipped.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense.
Because like in some ways I could see people really liking him. Either they vote for him because they think he's hot. They vote for him because they're a man and they like another like bro. But I will say, okay, this is kind of stupid because he is like well, I don't know if he's straight. I'm just saying his energy, right? I'm going to assume he is, but I'm just basing it off of energy. But I remember Me Rude, he kind of talked about how he felt like he wouldn't want to return to FiK because there is like within like with the juries, because that was the last time he competed was, I think it was only jury, and he did talk about how the jury is made up of like a lot of older people and homophobia is still pretty bad in Albania and especially in the older generation. And so I kind of lived for the fact that like, you know, a man in a skirt that like, you know, I was seeing comments and stuff and like Albanian articles being like a man in a skirt. And so I kind of was living for the fact that I was like, in my brain, this is the scenario I've put is like, oh, he's like, you know, that cute, chill, straight guy that like isn't afraid to defy gender norms a little bit, like puts the boundary a little bit, a little Harry Styles. But like I love the idea of like a gym rat being that person to do that. And like sometimes that's what straight people need to like push you over the edge, is you need that gym rat that you wouldn't expect to be wearing a skirt to be, you know.
Yeah, it's like the NHL Pride tape thing, which is going on right now, which a lot of people might not know about, but like NHL kind of had like a ban on like Pride stuff, and there's this Pride tape company, but now you've got these kind of like star players who are going out and they're using this Pride tape, and it is just kind of like, just, you know, like the allyship, like a demonstration of allyship. Yeah, so yeah, this song, I felt like there was a big similarity for me, not necessarily song-wise, but just like fandom reaction-wise, because I was watching everything play out on Twitter as far as what people were saying about the winning songs and what they were thinking about things. So I had a lot of knowledge of what other people thought before I watched the videos. And I was getting big 𝗂𝗍𝘆 vibes from Mal's song. And what was giving me that was that I knew that a lot of people wanted him to win. I knew a lot of why they wanted him to win was based on the way that he looked. And it was one of those things.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, the performance was messy. So was 𝗂's performance, but people were willing to overlook that. The song was like okay, but also like nothing really special. Maybe trying a little bit too hard to be something special. And like kind of what, you know, the way people were reacting to it, like not being chosen and like saying that, you know, it was rigged or that there was some kind of corruption for this girl. Although I'll say I think that they made the right choice between the two with Besa.
So I do agree in the end with Besa winning. I felt like people were so mad on Twitter that she won, but really after watching everybody, I'm like, she really was the only option. Like she was the only one I felt like realistically was like a full package song with like, it was already kind of ready. It does need a revamp, but it's like, it's ready to go to Eurovision. I feel like it makes sense also with the type of stuff that they send. Like, I don't really understand the shock and like upset reaction that I was seeing literally everywhere.
Yeah, me either.
Like I actually like it. Like literally when you join the call, I like it's got a catchy little chorus that like it's been stuck in my head since I've been listening to it, and like it needs a revamp. That weird ass rap like breakdown, like And then she like nearly fell off the stage.
That
And
was
I was
hilarious.
shocked that they used that performance to be the one that they uploaded to the channel. I was like, girl, I
Yeah.
would have went with the other one.
Well, that's like with Romania last year. The video that they uploaded was the one that where they, because the video had cut out during the performance and was like a black screen. But when they re-edited it, they spliced in a rehearsal performance where the backdrop is not there
Oh,
and the girl is
yeah.
fully clothed, not in her stage costume. So, and you saw it on tons of people's reactions where they're like, wait, did she change her clothes? Like, what was that? But then she's like back into the clothes. So it was the
Yeah.
same thing. Like, why would they choose that particular version to put up, like with a mistake in it? Because when they did the semifinal that you or the final that you watch for Surrey Storm with the Stage Invader, they actually put her semifinal performance where there was no invader into final for that final stream that's online. So like it is a bit weird to have like a mistake.
Yeah, and also like what's the rush? Because literally a lot, like I don't know if y'all know this, but or have noticed this, but France and Czechia have not uploaded their music videos onto the Eurovision channel. So what's the rush, girl? If that was the case. But I guess the drama came from her liking some tweets on her Twitter that were seen as problematic. I'm gonna be honest, they were just likes. And most of what I saw was not that bad. They were like distasteful memes. And so, and they were all in English. So like, I don't know. I really want to give the benefit of the doubt to this person that like mistranslation of memes and humor doesn't translate well. You know, I did send her a message that kind of made a lot of the rounds on Twitter and people were making memes about it. I was like, why did I send that? That's kind of goofy, but I am glad I got an answer because because there was like transphobic stuff that she had liked. It was only one tweet too. I don't want to say it was only like it's not a big deal, but it was one tweet about trans people in sports and it was like a meme about it. And I messaged her. I was like, do you support the transgender community? And she was like, yes, I do. And I was like, okay. I mean, that's sweet because honestly, I have sent that message to people who have had homophobic allegations and they've never responded. Like, I've never had an artist respond. So when people are like, what was she supposed to say? No, I don't. Like, well, I mean, plenty of people don't respond, you know. I thought it was cool that she responded and she explicitly said, yes, I support, you know. A person who really hates transgender people is not, or like, you know, any group, they're not going to say that. They're just going to ignore, block, or whatever, you know. Right. So I thought that was good. I mean, and I've seen Albanians talking about that she's actually a huge LGBT advocate. So it just, I feel like things probably were mistranslated that she didn't understand. You know, who knows? What if that's not even her Twitter? Do we know that's her Twitter? What if it's just not in the end? You know,
right?
Like,
and I know that
shit like that happens all the time.
There's been times where I've liked a tweet and then I read it a second time and was like, oh wait, actually I don't like that. Like, and I'll like take the like back. Because like sometimes you think you're reading one thing and you're not reading the other. And even like I saw that particular like transphobic meme about trans people in sports. And I think especially the way that it was phrased, it was one of those things where you could really expect anybody who's not informed about the real issue, where they might say like, well, yeah, like, of course, like, yeah, sure. Because they don't understand. They're coming from a place of very little knowledge to begin with to realize that why it's wrong.
Yeah, and I feel like also with a lot of like TERF propaganda specifically, because that's what it is. It's like totally propaganda. Like they use specifically wording to like be confusing so that any person, like you said, who's not well informed will go, oh yeah, that's horrible. No, I would not support, you know, men hurting women. But it's like, oh, well, but that's not actually like we know because we know about it. We know what they're actually saying. But a person who doesn't actually like know the way that the TERFs kind of operate and their language and their way of, you know, bringing information in a way to make it, you know, so that people who don't know anything about it, oh, no, there's no way I could actually like disagree with that. But it's like, no, but that's not actually what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah. So
Also,
because
people,
they did that shit to Wild Youth too.
yeah, right. And people change too.
Hmm.
And I know that some of those tweets that she had liked, and that's the thing too, is we're not talking about her own tweets, we're talking about other people's tweets.
Yeah.
Is that like, it's something, 5 years ago you agreed with something, you might not agree with that now. And I mean, hopefully it won't come out that there's other bad things like about her or her beliefs, but I mean, that's another one of those times where it's like, if she's not saying something directly that's negative, then I don't think that people should be ganging up on her for those things. Like, until she says something that is offensive, like, just like wait it out and see.
Exactly. That's how I feel. I feel like it's fair to give someone the benefit of the doubt when it's something like that. Now, if you're somebody like Laura Breton from Romania, who did a commercial specifically advocating against gay marriage in Romania, then you said that, girl. Girlie, you were in the commercial. You said that, girl. So like, I mean, yes, you were like 15, but
so that's weird.
But you were only like 16 at the time of competing. But anyways, I only said that because she was being rumored to come back if like Romania came back, and I saw everybody being excited, and I was thinking like, did we forget about that? But yeah, the only other name that I would say people were talking about was, of course, like people were so excited about Elsa Lila competing this year with her song Mars. Of course, last year she was the winner of the jury, and people were really excited about her coming back. People really wanted her to win. But the song just wasn't giving. Like, and I saw a little thing that I guess I don't know if it was one of the jury members or it was like somebody who worked for FiK or whatever, but they said when they were talking about like the judging of her specifically, it was that like her song was so similar to her song last year, but it was worse. And people were like, oh, that's not fair. Like, you should just judge it based on this song, which I agree with. But at the same time, it's like, no, but I do agree, Loki, because it's like, but we saw that that you could do something way better, and this was not it. This was not your year. Like, and then I mean, and who knows? I'm sure there's got to be so much drama behind the scenes, like with all those artists withdrawing and stuff. 3 artists withdrawing is not normal. And so I'm sure there's so much behind the scenes, but like she was like, I will never return. Okay, girl.
Sometimes people say things that they don't mean.
Yeah, because actually, somebody who said that they would never return was 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘆. And yet that leads us to the next national selection, which was PZE, Miss Serbia. So yes, so Serbia announced the 28 contestants that would be competing in PZE, which is Serbia's national selection for Eurovision. And bitch, when people have been saying this is an all-stars cast this year in just Eurovision in general, and then PZE came out with these artists, and I'm thinking, oh my fucking God, Serbia is truly in their slay era. Like, I'm becoming a Serbia stan. Like, this is crazy.
I did not watch PZE last year. I am watching it this year.
Yeah.
Because this seems to be one of those ones. Like, we've got a few countries right now. UMK is just knocking it out of the park, besting themselves every year. Benidorm Fest is always trying to put something together really nice for us as a new competition to show us what they've got. PZE is stepping it up majorly as well. It's like the new guard of the festivals. And then we have FiK dropping off, and Melfest has been shit for a few years now. And I mean, even MGP, Norway is not like super impressive in my opinion. And so it's like, it's so nice to have, it's nice to see that there's other people who are like doing their own thing and making their own way, because all 3 of those are actually very different. UMK, PZE, and Benidorm Fest are very different contests from each other, but they're all finding a way to make really good TV and have really good results as well.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see these countries that in years past had kind of flop national selections, and then the way that they can kind of turn it around. And even like in regards to the UK, like these are all proof that all it takes is like one really good year to turn it around. But also shout out to Miss Hurricane, because they really they brought the fucking sleigh. Because since Hurricane, bitch, like Serbia has been killing it. So there's 28 contestants. I'm not familiar with all of the names, but I did write down some of the names of people that kind of will stand out. Of course, we don't have the songs right now, so all we can talk about is the artists so far. But there are some exciting people in this lineup, and it's a super diverse lineup. I was listening, and there's artists that kind of lean more comedic. There's artists that are like really chaotic and crazy that are like seem like they might give kind of 𝗫𝗏 vibes. There's rock, there's bubblegum pop, there's cultural pop, there's artistic. There's so many different vibes going on. Like it looks like it's going to be so fucking good. So of course the big name is 𝗏𝗏 is back, and she represented Serbia back in 2022. So I'm kind of gagged that she's already back, because she's one of those people that used to say she would never even try to go to Eurovision. Then she went to Eurovision. She said, "Oh, but I'll never come back." And now she's coming back. But I live for it. I love that she's like, you could tell that she's really found a sense of community almost in the Eurovision sphere. She goes to events. She was doing so much stuff with Luke Black. I ate breakfast next to her and Luke Black in Madrid, and like there were these I think, I don't know who was on tour with who, but I just saw they did a little live performance, and Luke does this thing where he's in her performance as one of the guys behind her, like handing her a towel and stuff. And they did that in Madrid as well, where he came out on stage. And like, I just love their friendship together. Like, and I just love her. I think it would be really cool to see what she's going to bring this time. Is she going to bring something similar? Of course, it's so recent that I don't know, like, who knows? It's not going to be, maybe it's not going to be like a whole world of a difference to it, or who knows? Like, who knows?
Well, I think the reason that she's come back is because of last year, because of doing the pre-parties, because she was still in the loop of Eurovision, and it wasn't just something that she put behind her. It was something that she got to see. Because I think a lot of people, they kind of get put through the ringer when they go to do Eurovision, where there's so many things that you don't expect, and it's a lot of pressure. And then right afterwards, you think, well, I don't want to fucking do that again. Like, I've never been this tired in my life. But then you can look at what it can actually do for you. And like, I'm sure to have the continued international support as well, of going to Spain and having people be excited to see her, even when she's not part of Eurovision this year, it probably did say like, well, this might, like, it's, people appreciate my artwork, first of all, which I'm sure for her is the most important thing, that people care about her art. But that she can have a bigger audience than just Serbia, which is not a huge country.
Yeah, and especially as an artist that sings majority in Serbian, I believe, like, that's completely huge. And I always say that to artists. Well, I don't say it to artists, but I always say that about artists, is it's like, especially whenever there's an artist that almost like kind of denounces Eurovision, I'm just thinking like, Eurovision, if you're one of those people that embraces the community, girl, you'll be booked and blessed. You'll be invited to every pre-party. You'll be invited to the Euro Village, to Euro Club to perform. Like, you'll be doing good if you really embrace it, and especially if you're an artist that the fandom loves. Like, girl, go with it. Like, those are fans that will be with you forever.
Even marginal acts that people weren't crazy about. Like, I bet if fucking Pete Jacks told the Barcelona party people, like, hey, if you want to have us back, like, even though they didn't make it to the final, I'm sure the booking agents would say yeah, and I'm sure that the fans would be like, oh fuck yeah, Pete Jacks are gonna be there, like, why not? Like, it really is. And I think someone else has said it before, that like, you'll be booked February to May every year. You will be making money because there is such an appetite for the Eurovision performers.
Yeah. So then also the other huge name that is in PZE this year is Theodora. So I'm not gonna lie, this had me gagged, because as much as like, this is what's hard. I love 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘆. I do feel like it's a little early for her to be back. Like, I don't want to say it's a little early because we haven't heard the songs. I'm just saying it's hard for me to like I would love to see one of these other artists go because we just did see her, and there's some really good artists in this lineup. 𝗪𝗏𝘅𝘅𝘆, how would you say this name? 𝗪𝗏𝘆? 𝗪𝗏𝘆?
If it was Polish, it would probably be 𝗪𝗏𝘆.
𝗪𝗏𝘆. I don't know how to say it, but girl, she had a TikTok song, right? So this is a TikTok song. It went viral on TikTok in the most random of ways. Do you know what trend it was viral with? So it was people posting AI photos of them pregnant. And for some reason, this song was in the background. I don't know why.
Wait. Okay. I have to see one of these videos now. This is a
there's one
trend.
on my TikTok. I should send it to you because it's it's the most random shit, and I find it so funny that like whenever I explain this, because it's like the most random fucking thing ever.
Oh, this song. What are these pictures? Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so it's like the most random trend ever. But I was even telling my coworkers today about, well, they asked me what we were talking about on the podcast. So I was telling them about this, and I was like, oh, are you on TikTok? Do you know this trend? And she was like, oh my God, yes, I do. I was like, it's so fucking weird. So this was like an international trend. Like, this was not just a European thing. This was not just a Serbian thing. This was international. Like, bitches know about this trend in this song. So I was kind of gagged because it literally it happened just a few months ago. Like, and she's here. I mean, it is just like a single TikTok song, but it's huge. I think it's huge to see this because she's kind of like a big up and coming, like a big Serbian name. So to see her in the selection, it's amazing to see. And not, so I'm excited to see what she is sending because I'm not really familiar with a lot of her other music, but that is a really gorgeous song. And she's kind of the one that I'm like, oh, that would be a big deal to see her go to Eurovision, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with her, but I saw when the names got released that there was some confusion about who she was, and people were like, wait, Taya is in Dora? Like Taya from Taya and Selena is competing in Dora, but they were like, but wait, what? She's Serbian. But wait, it is the Serbian thing. So what's actually going on here? But so it's 𝗪𝗏𝘅𝘅 is actually an individual person, separate from Taya and Selena.
Yes, yeah. I forgot that Taya had performed in was it PZE?
I don't remember. I don't know if it was PZE at the time, but she's definitely Serbian.
Yeah, I remember she was in a selection. I totally forgot about that. So I'm excited about her. I'm excited to hear what she's sending at. I feel like her and 𝗏𝗏𝘅𝘆𝗁, because 𝗏𝗏𝘅𝗁 was a big group as well when they went to Eurovision, and I feel like she could have a similar effect. And her going to Eurovision, if she ends up getting a good result, could be a really good thing for Serbia to have another big Serbian artist go and see success and international success. She's already seen that, so I'm just excited. So then we have Filip Baloš. And he, of course, competed in PZE last year with Novi Plan Drogi San. And he was a fan favorite. And I'm excited to see him back. I'm hoping he's bringing another Slay bop. He's another one I would love to see go because I love the idea of the continuation of the friendship of okay, we had 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘅𝘆 and Luke Black and then Philip. And it's just they're all friends. So I love the idea of them all I don't know if Philip and 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘅𝘆 are friends, but I like the idea of okay, Luke was 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘅𝘆's friend, so he goes, and then Philip is Luke's friend, so then he goes, and then whoever's Philip's friend will go next year. Let's just continue it. And I love him, and he's really cute, so I would love to meet him because I had such a crush on Luke Black and fell in love with him. So let's just fall in love all over again.
I mean, obviously, if Filip Baloš went, he would have immediate support from the fans because the fans already love him. He went to pre-parties, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Like, yeah, I'm excited for that one because 𝗏𝗶𝗆𝗅𝗏 was a good song.
Yeah. I'm hyped about. I feel like he has potential. Next up is we have 𝗥𝗄𝗆, and this is Sascha Janks or Yanks or whatever. There's many different spellings that she's iterations she's gone through. I'm sure I always mispronounce her name, but she has been in yeah, I don't know if it was 𝗲𝗍 back then, but she's competed a few times in the national selection. She's had some fan favorite ones, but I think she was. So I was talking to her because I was like, "Oh, congratulations!" Because Loki, this is my friend. Like, there are very few artists, Eurovision related artists, I would actually say I feel friends with. But Miss Girl, even back when Trump got elected, she messaged me and said, "If you want to move to Serbia, I have a room."
Oh my God, that's
like,
cute.
Like she's like actually like she was one of the first artists to really support me, and she still does. Like, she always supports all my art. And I was talking to her and she was like, "I always love your art and support you." And I was like,
oh, that's so nice.
She's literally so sweet, like one of the nicest Eurovision related people that I've ever spoken to. She's been a backing singer a lot in Eurovision. She was 𝗏𝗏𝗆𝗏, and she was one of the backing singers in that. She was a backing singer in Beauty Never Lies, No It Hides.
Oh.
Like, she's and a couple other times she's been a backing singer a lot. And so she has like been to Eurovision in that sense, but I'm excited about what she's going to be bringing, because she usually brings some really cool stuff. And she was saying, like, she again was one of those people that she didn't know if she would ever return again, because I remember even like when I talked to her back in the day, I remember it was, I think the last time she competed was when 𝗏𝗏 won. And I remember there was a lot of like controversy with her winning, I think, like behind the scenes. So I'm happy to see that she's back. And she seems excited.
Yeah, she seems like a good person to have, like very professional, very skilled, talented person who clearly works hard in the industry. What's kind of funny is just looking at her Wikipedia, she has the same last name as Weird Al.
Wait, what's her last? Oh,
𝗏𝗏𝗆𝗏𝗏.
𝗏𝗏𝗆𝗏𝗏. Oh.
Yeah, Weird Al 𝗏𝗏𝗆𝗏𝗏. Yeah, I think it's a kind of common name though in Serbia.
Yeah. Well, maybe she's related.
Go back far enough and they probably are.
That's true. I was just thinking today, I saw Lena Meyer-Landrut again, and I was thinking, oh, like we do share like half a last name. I was like, maybe that's my sister.
Long lost cousin.
Yeah. I was like looking to see, I was like making sure that it wasn't like hyphenated because she got married or what. Like I was trying to see, but no. Anyways. And it's spelled the same. That's why, because, Meyer has so many different spellings. But anyways, the next artist that I'm very excited about is 𝗏𝗏𝗆𝗏𝗏. I am so fucking excited about her. She's another insanely successful Serbian singer. She has so many songs with so many views on YouTube, and she does like collaborations, and she does this really cool mixture of like cultural Serbian instruments with pop music. And she's such a girl bop. She's such a slay. I feel like she's really going to be one of the ones that like the fans are going to be obsessed with. And I don't see enough people talking about her because of that, because I'm like, guys, go and listen to her music. She's bringing like what y'all love, like Serbian cultural pop music. So fucking good. I'm excited to see what she brings as well. She has this one video where she's like in all pink, and she's like, I don't know, she's just so like, she's so puss. I don't know how to say it. Like, she's just so like, like, I know the gays are gonna love her, and I feel like 𝗲𝗍 has just truly become like gay. Like, they're serving the gays. Like, even if you follow their social media, girl, a gay is running that shit. They have such good social media, like their memes and stuff they be posting. They're so funny.
Which is funny because you don't really think of Serbia as being like a super gay friendly country.
No, like I live for it, because I would never expect that from Serbia, and they've low-key like, yeah, like her since Hurricane Girl, they've been serving the gays. Next up, another name in the lineup is 𝗍. So she competed last year with her song Rumba Ba Rumba Ne Runada, that song, and people loved her. I think she was slated as a potential winner for a while. I don't remember what placement she got, but she did well. Like, people really, really liked that entry. So she's back, which is exciting. Do you remember that entry?
No, I didn't watch it actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another name where she's new to PZE, but it's Kat Cardoso. Bitch, oh my God. This song, Go Go, from her is so fucking good. Go, 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 yo body go, 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 go. Let it do that, body. Hey! It's so good. Somebody said they reminded them of Azealia Banks. I don't know if I agree, but maybe I do. Like, I'm still trying to figure out if she doesn't give Azealia Banks at all, but it's just like, she's so fucking good. This is a bop. I have high expectations for her as well, based on that one single song, because it's been being streamed since.
Did she sing in Serbian? Cardoso doesn't sound Serbian. It sounds Spanish or Italian or something.
She does sing in Serbian.
She does. Okay.
Yeah, but she definitely sings in Serbian, but I'm excited. There's like a little English in that one song, but I haven't listened to a lot of her other stuff, but that song is so fucking good. It's just like she's such a baddie.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's so good. She's one, again, I haven't seen many people talking about her because I think she's like a newer artist. Like, she doesn't have as many songs as like some of the other people, but she's just amazing. And then the last name that I personally wrote down was 𝗠𝘅𝘅𝘆. So she competed back in 2022, and she was one that a lot of people loved. A lot of people were kind of rooting for her. It was 2022. Yeah. So it was between her and 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘆 who would win. So she was the one that had like that crown and and I liked her song. I think she was my winner at the time, but I grew to love 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘆.
Mm-hmm.
But she was my winner at the time. So I'm excited to see what she brings. She hasn't really put out too much music since then, but she's, again, another one that did really well back in PZE. Bitch, this is looking exciting. Like,
yeah, sounds good.
I'm entering my Serbia stan moment, and you know what? Actually, shout out.
Had to have the lobster with you.
Shout out to the lobster. Yeah. So, I'm excited. I'm really excited about Serbia, and I just feel like, entering my Serbia stan era is what I'm saying nowadays.
Yeah, that one passed me by in the past, but I'm definitely going to be seated this year.
So then, speaking of skipping over, girl, we got Moldova, which was just announced today. Okay, so I've never followed Moldova very strongly, I will say, but we did listen to a recap of the songs, and we saved, we kind of saved some of the ones that we thought sounded pretty good. So there are 32 songs that are kind of in this list, and all of the songs have been released, which we love to see. Well, I love to see that, frankly. So 32 songs released, and then these are going to go on January 13th, will be performed at a live audition, and then 10 will go through to actually compete in the televised national selection. What's crazy is they only got like 51 submissions.
Which is weird because they've been so successful over the past few years.
Yeah, it is strange, but I will say, honestly, listening to this, I thought it was I actually thought it sounded really good. Like, I actually thought, oh wow, like there's actually a lot of songs I like screenshotted, and I was like, oh, this is a good song. Oh, this is a good song. I mean, there's some duds in there, but like, and I didn't listen to all of them. Like, I didn't listen to any of them in full length, so they might sound really good in the snippet, and then not be not be in full length. But but I actually thought like, oh wow, the quality is actually really good, especially because like Moldova is one of the selections that like, okay, they got 50 submissions and 32 went through. So basically, if you submit, then you go through. We learned that from 𝗥𝗶𝗆𝗆. Like, you know, like they don't even vet these damn songs. So
Love her though. Love them.
I love her. Yeah, yeah, so we actually you miss 𝗥𝗶𝗆𝗆 as well, right?
No, I didn't know. You had came back and was like, oh my God, 𝗥𝗶𝗆𝗆 is here. But by then I think they were gone.
Oh, yeah. So I met 𝗥𝗶𝗆𝗆𝗆 and their mother, and they were so sweet. Literally, 𝗥𝗶𝗆𝗆𝗆 was at the 𝗣𝗣 Jam with their like, if you remember the album art was them as a child with like rhinestones on their forehead. They went to the 𝗣𝗣 Jam, or not 𝗣𝗣 Jam, the Lush Lounge, with recreated the rhinestones as an adult. I think they're an adult.
Yeah,
But
I think so.
they went with their mom, literally so sweet, literally like adopt me. I love them. They're so sweet. But yeah, so speaking of 𝗥𝗶𝗆𝗆𝗆, or speaking of Moldova, 𝗥𝗶𝗆𝗆𝗆, but so we could go over some of the songs that sounded good, that stood
Yeah,
out to us.
you know, I love Moldova. I love their contest. This is another like hot mess express contest that like it's a train wreck that I can't turn away from. I
Mhm.
always have to watch it. Moldova and Romania just do it for me. RIP TBR. Um, but I'm really excited for this one. Although I have to say, I could not believe it when I opened up the official Eurovision app to look at the news about Moldova. And the font that they use on the Eurovision app does not support special characters. So Moldova speaks Romanian, and the Romanian alphabet has like a T with a little squiggle on the bottom and an A with a horn. I don't know what you
Mhm.
want to call it, like a half circle over top of it. It's like tiny, skinny, and smaller than the rest of the font. It looks ridiculous. Like it's 2023. Half the countries have special characters. Pick a font that will support the special characters, please.
Yeah, bitch, just use Arial.
Seriously. Seriously,
Like,
it
what the
looks
hell?
goofy.
It's not like the font they used is unique either. It's like, just pick one
No,
that does support it. It's weird.
it's
Yeah,
very
especially
stupid.
you're doing something where it's like you're talking about international, like different, you have things in different languages constantly. Kind of weird.
Yeah, and most of those things in different languages are going to be like people's names. Like,
Yeah, like,
get a font
you don't
that
want that to be
supports the
messed up.
characters. It looks really weird. But yeah, there were a few in here that I liked. I watched the recap and I kind of clicked through. Like if I, it was like channel surfing on the radio. Like if it didn't
Yeah.
sound good, I was okay. I'm just gonna click over to the next one. So
Mhm.
first of all, though, I was a bit confused if maybe the recap I was watching was incorrect because a couple of these artists had two songs. Olive Sky had two songs. Valeria had two songs. 𝗏 had two songs. Is that?
Huh. I mean, I guess it makes sense that there could be doubles just because especially they're just going to auditions right now. So, you know,
So no, that's correct. There are multiple songs from artists.
that's weird.
Yeah,
Huh.
interesting. Actually, you know what? This website looks pretty slick.
It
Got all
does
kinds of
actually.
really
I'm
cool
kind of
graphics. This is like, okay,
This is the
maybe
official
Moldova's
website for them.
doing something
Yeah.
for us this year.
They're kind of chewing some of these other bitches up.
Yeah,
And
and
and I will say this is the thing about Miss Moldova is they are the proof that all you need is one good song. That's all you need. Because every year they kind of low-key have a chaotic, messy, like not that many good songs. But in the end, they do great because they always have at least one that's amazing.
I just hope that they have a watchable stream this year because last year's stream, I was literally crying. I cried that day. I was so frustrated that I couldn't watch that contest. It kept cutting out. Every feed was bad. And like literally it was like they got the cheapest like video hosting that they
Mm,
could get. I really hope that they invest a little bit of money into having a good stream that's like stable.
yeah.
And I
Well,
know they're not working with a huge budget, but it looks like at least the website looks really slick. So maybe they are putting a little bit more effort into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so what are some of the songs that you really liked that stood out for you?
Well, I have to say, I am thrilled that 𝗬𝗏𝘅𝘆 is alive and competing. We need our Moldovan grandpa in the contest because I thought he was dead. I was like, we haven't heard from this man, and he was always
this.
His 𝗬𝗏𝘅𝘆, he's a legend. He's this old singing dude. Every year he sends a song that sounds exactly like the one the previous year, but he keeps on. He's not given up, and he keeps on working. And as far as the return artists, I am happy to see 𝗬𝗏𝘅𝘆. I am not happy to see 𝗨𝘅𝘆𝘆.
Okay, so here's my thing. I don't really understand how this man keeps getting brought back.
I don't
because
know.
he actually is sending like disgusting songs. Like every year he's sending like stuff that's like pedophilic. He's sending stuff that's like just like weird every year. So his song this year is called Married to Twins. And like I'm pretty sure when I was listening, just in the recap, the quick little recap, it said something about like, the twins like cheat on me and have an affair with each other.
This guy is weird, and I don't know why they allow him. Maybe this is one of those things where it's like, if you have the money to be in the contest, they'll let you.
Yeah.
You know, if it's half listenable, but they need to put this man in jail. He needs to have a restraining order from producing music.
Yeah, because I mean, and I don't think he ever really qualifies past the auditions. But still, like, it's just gross. Like, get out of here, please.
Yeah.
Never come back. There is also, speaking of returnees, one that does not have such a visceral reaction is Aliona Moon.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Is returning, and it sounds pretty good. I need to go listen to the full version because the recap didn't. It sounded cool, but it didn't give me anything exciting. And it is featuring another artist. It's featuring Mila. So I don't, I didn't hear her in the recap. I only heard Aliona's part. So I'm excited to listen to her because she came close to winning last year.
There was one song that really confused me, and I'm interested to see what happens. And it was the 𝗨𝗏𝘆𝘆𝘆, and it sounds like it's sung by robots. It's really weird, and it's not like I want to see this one because I think it like should win or anything. I just want to see it because I'm curious. It sounds like a Eurovision entry from the snippet.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is like another Miss Katie Love situation or what, because their picture is like not of people. It's just a picture of like it's just a little picture of robots, or it's actually it looks like AI generated like Star Wars characters.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So I'm interested to see what's up with that one. And then I really liked, I think the one that stood out the most to me was In the Middle by 𝗫𝗫𝗫. It had kind of like traditional electronic fusion vibes, and it was a little bit like mid-tempo. And I don't know, I thought her vocals sounded nice, and that's one that I'm excited to listen to like in the full format. And then there was another one that confused me because it was someone named Laura, and I was like, oh my god, Laura Povederi is in the Moldovan contest too. Man, she's got tentacles. But nope, it's just someone going by Laura. I really wish people would stop doing that when you have a really common name. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to Google you?
Yeah, y'all are doing yourselves no favors. Come on. It's like drag queen 101 when you come up with your drag name, girl. Google it first. That's the first step.
Right? Like when we named our podcast, there was absolutely no one else calling anything 𝗫𝗏𝘅𝘆𝘆. We really like lucked out there.
Yeah, which was shocking because it was already a meme, but
yeah.
I also loved Valeria's song, the Rule Rai Di Ridi one. I loved that one. It was so good. I don't know, there's actually a lot of bops, like, and actually a lot of Romanian bops in this. A lot of Romanian girl bops that all sound pretty good.
Yeah.
That I'm excited about. Like, even Anna G, AAA, who else? Like we had Maria Ciolak, Break Free. Girl was manifesting Ariana in that. This is the bar. You know, not at all. It didn't sound like that, but it was a bop. So there's actually some good songs. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm kind of excited. Polly, these are just some of the songs I saved. So like Polly, Louis, Lui. I don't know. Julia Teluca. I don't know I don't speak Romanian. I don't know what the accents on the letters, like how it's supposed to be pronounced. But her song Runaway, that sounded really good. Viola, Julia, Light Up. Girl, yes, let's light up. Also, Valeria Pasha, Anti-Princess. That was really good. That's a contender to me.
Yeah, I thought this one sounded really good. This one made my short list. It's definitely a slay. And I am really excited to see like what they do here, because like it's good to have a few things that sound promising as opposed to like, oh, that all sounded really bad, which happens from time to time where nothing stands out to you. So to have a few that sound good or interesting or whatever, like I'm ready for this one. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think coming off of FiK and then this one, they both have similar amounts. FiK had 31 songs, this has 32. And watching recaps of both of them, this one actually kept me entertained. Like with Moldova, I was actually like every single song was kind of different and it had something unique about it. FiK was like they all sounded the fucking same. This one, I watched I watched FiK's recap a couple times on top of seeing clips and stuff, and I still couldn't tell you any of the fucking songs except for 4 of them. And this one, I watched it and I kept screenshot. I said, "Oh, this is good. This is good. This is good." And they all stood out for different reasons. So I am excited. I'm excited to see the live auditions, and I'm excited that we get them pretty soon, like within 2 weeks, almost 2 or 3 weeks. So that is that on Eurovision news as to what we've got like in terms of Eurovision season news. However, we've got some award related things that we want to get into. So we're going to get to ESC 250 and our votes for that. But before we do that, we are going to talk about the official Eurovision Awards. So these were put on by the actual, Eurovision.tv. They had voting a couple of weeks ago, I believe, or like maybe a week or two ago, that you could vote on the app. And they just had some little categories, like they kind of had weird names. I'm not going to lie.
It was really weird.
Yeah, some weird names, but we're going to go through the categories and talk about it. Who was nominated and who ultimately ended up winning these weird categories.
And I actually did a reaction to the live broadcast. Like,
it's
not like there's no embedded video on it. I'm literally just like holding my phone up to my face while I watch on my computer at work during my lunch break. And I'm reacting to it. It's a very weird reaction, actually. I watched it when I got home and was like, oh, this is actually really random. Like,
oh my God.
Because it is. It's really weird. So if you want to see my live reaction, go over to the eSpot page and watch that on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw you uploaded that. I'll have to watch it. It's still okay. These are weird. Like even looking at the categories, I'm just thinking. It's just what's weird about this is these honestly look like things that wee blogs would do. What are these
corny.
Categories?
It's so
what
corny.
Are these? So the first category we had is Kings of Riz 2023, but I'm assuming when voting occurred, it was Kings/Queens. Which first of all, why did we gender it?
Well, do you know what? That's what I said too. I was like, why did we gender this? And people were like, it's not gendered it because a guy can be a queen and a girl can be a king. And it's like, okay, but that's not why they did it. They did it because
that's not what they meant. Yeah,
that is not what they meant. So let's not pretend like it's not. Like they literally could have just said like most charisma or something. But of course, they wanted to make it a meme and they wanted to be cute, and it's just weird and cheesy. And also, the people that okay, Blanca, Joker Out, Mae Muller, and Marco Mengoni. I agree with Joker Out. I agree with Mae Muller. Blanca, Riz?
Blanca was, I'm sorry. Okay, here's the issue. Is they're trying to be trendy and memey with it. Okay, Blanca, it was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. Like, in person, she is so fucking gorgeous. So if that was what they were going for, like, is that what they were trying to say? But like, charisma, because that's what Riz means.
Yeah.
No, like with Peace and Love, she's like the, what is it? Is antithesis the right word? Like, she is like the opposite of charisma.
She has no charisma at all. The girl is a wet noodle.
Yeah. Beautiful she is, but yeah. Maymoller though, for sure.
Oh, hell
even
yeah.
Marco Mangoni, because remember when Marco Mangoni came up and threw shade to that girl that was screaming next to us?
Yeah.
And she was like, "I love your song," and he goes, "You've been saying that to everyone."
Although you could love all the songs, really, but that was a really funny moment. He is funny, but even that's not really, like, I would really say that Riz. I think there were lots of other people who captured the hearts of very many more fans than either Blanca or Marco Mangoni did.
Yeah.
Although Marco
I feel
Mangoni
like Blanca
came second place. He was the runner-up.
But at 16%. So like the winner was Joker Out with 54%, which makes sense. I feel like they kind of were they were the obvious of the whole year. I mean, first of all, they're fucking hot.
Yes.
All of them. And then also they exude charisma. Like, Bojan is truly, that's just looking at him, you're like, you fall in love.
But like 𝗥𝗶𝗆 should have been in this category.
That's true. He really, yeah, you're right. So then the next category was Style Icon of 2023. So the options were Lazara, 𝗏3, Lord of the Lost, and Mimicat. So again, like, Lord of the Lost with Peace and Love, like, they just picked them because they had weird fashion.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they were not style icons of the year, I feel like.
𝗫𝗏𝘅𝘅, hello. Every single time we saw them, they were wearing something incredible. They should have been on this list. Like, even Luke Black had some amazing looks.
Luke Black, that ruffle. Oh, and even honestly, like, I hate to say it, but y'all know who won the fucking red carpet was those fucking twins.
Oh my God, the twins, they were super stylish. Oh, and Peaked Jacks had an amazing
Peaked Jacks.
stylist.
Oh my God, their stuff was crazy.
They looked so good all the time. Even Joker Out had an amazing stylist. Like, I would never think Mimicat or Lord of the Lost. 𝗏3, iconic. So yes, they deserve to be in here. But even Lazara, like, she had a few cool looks, but like her stage costume wasn't really anything crazy.
She kind of had one outfit that she wore for most things.
Right.
She wore the black sequins. Like, yeah, like, she really didn't turn looks. I mean, Mimicat, in my head, I know she's a fashion girly because I sat on the porch with her in Madrid and talked with her for 30 minutes about clothes with her and her stylist. So like, in my head, that's what I associate her with now. But like, yeah, she isn't who I would think based on the looks that they turned. Like, it's just kind of weird. But I love to see 𝗏3, actually.
Yeah.
Out of everybody.
Yeah.
And I love that they got runner up with almost 25%. Because they were kind of low-key. They kind of killed it with the style. And they were turning different looks for different things. And they were eating it up.
But Lazara was the winner at 51%.
Yes.
So between those two, that only leaves like 25% for Lord of the Lost and Mimicat to share.
Which makes sense, because out of all of them, girl, who I know ain't nobody was voting for them, but well, speaking of crazy percentages, next up was most iconic duo.
Oh my God, this was like,
yeah. So the nominees were Turan, Tural. I don't remember the X at the end of their name.
There was the X.
Okay. And then Taya and Selena, Mia and Dion, and 𝗫𝗏𝘅𝘅. So the winner was Taya and Selena with 81%.
Almost 82, 81.8.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 81.8. And then 𝗫𝗏𝘅𝘅 was runner-up with only 10%. Which I guess it makes sense. It does make sense. I mean, I would think there would be closer between 𝗫𝘅𝘅 and 𝗤𝘗. I mean, they got better results in Eurovision.
Yeah.
I would have expected them. But I think 𝗤𝘗 and Selena are a little more fan favorites within the fandom. And those are the people who are voting. So
were there any other duos that got looked over, or like that was really it, wasn't it? Things.
yeah, these were all the duos though. So that's good. At least nobody got cut, because that would suck.
That would suck. Yeah. Maybe that was why they did it, because there was only 4 of them, so it worked.
Yeah, it worked. So next up was Vocal Powerhouse of 2023. So the nominees were Alika, 𝗏𝗏, Loreen, and Voyager. Okay, Voyager automatically needs to be cut because they never fucking did the growl.
Well, the thing, I don't know why I feel like Voyager should have gone over to the Riz category, and Marco Mengoni should have gone to Vocal Powerhouse category. That would make
Voyager
more sense.
and Riz?
Yeah, I feel more than Marco Mengoni.
No.
Well, I don't think Voyager belongs in the Vocal Powerhouse category.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Do you think 𝗏𝗏 does?
Thing is 𝗏𝗏 didn't have a power vocal. 𝗏𝗏 had a very steady, consistent vocal.
Yeah, that's what, and I think of powerhouse vocalists. I don't think of 𝗏𝗏. Like I think of somebody like Marco Mengoni. Like he would make sense to be in here. Like a song that really like showcased their vocals, and I don't know. I didn't get that from him, but I think Alika, that's a proper winner.
That was appropriate for me as well.
Yeah, but it was very close because Loreen came in second with 30% and Alika won with 44 or 45. So very close, but she definitely deserved it. So then next up was King of Choreo, which this was the one that I saw going around on Twitter where everybody was talking about it. So the nominees were Blanca, 𝗫𝗏𝘆, 𝗫𝗏𝘆, and 𝗫𝗏𝘆. So I just so a lot of people were shocked. So the winner was 𝗫𝗏𝘆, and a lot of people were like, 𝗫𝗏𝘆, why would he win? First of all, why is Blanca
iconic? What do you mean? Like, it's so iconic. Like the whole the finger waving and the like funny sideways arm, like that is like choreo that you remember. Yes, like it was the most memorable choreo of the entire year.
Well, the bitches on Twitter were trying to say 𝗫𝗏𝘆 should have won. I'm thinking, I don't even remember her choreo.
She only did handstands.
That's not choreo. Like to me, 𝗫𝗏𝘆 had iconic choreo. I mean, it is choreo, but like 𝗫𝗏𝘆 like makes sense. I mean, there's other people that could have been on here, but 𝗫𝗏𝘆 makes sense because like, okay, even if you had choreo, like yes, Blanca, you had a little dance break. Was it well executed? No, but ain't nobody recreating that shit. 𝗫𝗏𝘆 was like low-key the only one this year that had a dance that people were doing, that everybody in the audience was going along with it. That, or I don't know, could we consider this choreo? Because everybody in the audience was doing this.
Oh yeah, the
Blanca Paloma.
Blanca Paloma thing. Yeah, that's choreo.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even Loreen had more choreo than, like, I don't know. This category sucked. And 𝗫𝗏𝘆, I mean, that is some of the worst choreo of the whole year. I have always said from the beginning, since I've seen it, was like, I have seen middle school cheerleading squads with better step routines. Like, it is not good choreo. It is actually really, really bad and like a little bit insulting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it as much as you do, but I do, like, I think she makes sense, of course, to be in the list. I mean, it was kind of like the only thing that she had going for her performance.
Do you want to see me dance? Yeah, like,
like
I was a cheerleader too, by the way. So I spent a lot of time at cheerleading competitions. So like, I know what good step formations look like, and that ain't it.
Yeah, but I think we should all, instead of, like, first of all, the 𝗫𝗏𝘆 haters, like the salty 𝗫𝗏𝘆 haters, they just be mad at anything. Because should we not just, I'm sorry, should we not be rejoicing at the fact that he beat because if he didn't win, who was going to win? Noah? Oh, we were going to celebrate that?
Yeah.
Let's all rejoice that 𝗫𝗏𝘆
God, can you
won
even
that.
imagine the situation we would be in right now if that was the case?
Well, speaking of 𝗥𝗏𝘅, the next one was exemplary artistic vision. So the nominees were Blanca Paloma, 𝗥𝗏𝘅, Loreen, and Luke Black. I actually think these are all good nominees.
Yeah, I agree. This was the one category where they got it right.
And 𝗥𝗏𝘅 ended up winning with 44%. I mean, you know what? It could have gone to anyone, and I would have been like, that's fair. But he did have an amazing artistic vision. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I was surprised actually that Loreen basically got blanked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, because she didn't even get runner-up for this one. Blanca Paloma did.
Yeah. And so I think that maybe some of this is just that 𝗥𝗏𝘅's fans are really hardcore, and so they went out and they voted for him. But this is a fan contest where you have to, like, the fans have to vote for it. So, like, if you're mad that he won, then maybe you should have voted and encouraged people to vote for someone other than him, because this is all fan-based.
Yeah, exactly. And also, guys, like, if you're mad about this stuff, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It, like, truly doesn't matter. But good for 𝗥𝗏𝘅. I love that they put the reggae mix underneath this.
One of the only ones I can actually see because I'm not on a VPN right now. Everything's unavailable until 𝗥𝗏𝘅 reggae.
Yeah. So then another stupid fucking category. Best bouffant. I'm sorry. What the fuck is a bouffant? Because I don't think I know what it is based on this.
I think bouffant just means hairstyle in French, but for us, a bouffant is a very specific type of hairstyle.
Yeah.
It's like a 1950s kind of like swoopy, fluffy
like
thing.
Up and like.
It's like an updo.
Because I'm looking at these people, I'm thinking, ain't none of these bitches got a bouffant.
Closest thing to a bouffant is Riley, and
I was gonna say he's the only one.
Literally, it's like Margaret Thatcher's hair is a bouffant.
Yeah. So, okay, the nominees were Loreen, Riley, Vesna, and Voyager. How did Vesna win?
They had those long braids, and like they incorporated into the dance, you know. So in that way, like it was kind of iconic. Okay, but it is so weird. Like best bouffant, they just did it because it's a B and a B. And it's like with the Riz thing, it's like you can just call it best hair. Like that's fine to call it best hair, and it's fine to you know, it doesn't have to be the king of choreo. It could just be best choreo.
But also, I feel like 𝗥𝗏𝘅's hairstyle was pretty iconic. But you know, maybe he couldn't get 3 nominees. Maybe they didn't want to like give it all to him.
Maybe they should have though, because he also should have been in the next category.
Well, hold on. I want to look at some people's hair though. What did brunettes look like? Because even like Lazada, like her little finger wave, like that was a cute little hairstyle. I'm trying to think if brunette, did she have like braids in hers?
Her hair was kind of like
was it just slicked?
It was like slicked, and then I think there might have been some like additional braids put in, sort of like how Loreen had.
She had some, yeah. I liked her hair. But anyways, I mean, I just, this was a boring category. But you know what? You're right. They did have some, Vesna did have cool hair. And I'm glad to see that Riley got a nomination.
Yeah, and he did have great hair. I love his perm.
Yes. And then we have the last category, which is Miss Congeniality. And the nominees were Alessandra, Gustav, Taya and Selena, and Voyager. The only person, Gustav. No, actually, I think Alessandra's a little random to win.
So, and this is one of the things where it's funny. It's like, so we have king and queen of everything else, but we only have Miss Congeniality. Like, I'm actually fine with that, but it's just kind of funny where it's like they went through all this trouble on the other ones, and then this one's just like, Voyager and Gustav, you're a miss now, whatever.
Yeah.
I see Miss Congeniality as being like, let's look up and see what the actual definition. All I'm gonna get is the fucking movie.
Well, because Miss Congeniality should be voted for by the contestants, is how Miss Congeniality is supposed to go. Because it's supposed to be about like the behind the scenes. It's supposed to be about the person in the pageant that helps the other girls, that isn't throwing beads on the stage to make the girls in front of her slip. You know, it's like that's Miss Congeniality. So it's like people should not be voting.
is a very friendly person who could win a contest for having the best personality. So it's actually the best personality award. Alessandra does have a great personality though. So I think that is deserved in that way. But I feel like this is one where like 𝗫𝗫 should have been in this because his personality is fucking amazing. He is such a sweet, sweet person. And like, even like I feel like 𝗏𝗏 would have been a good one for here too. Another person who has an amazing personality.
Yeah, because those are people, and I think 𝗥𝗏𝘆 makes sense. Those are people that like that's one of the things that people love about them. That's one of the things that had people voting for them was like that's the thing with 𝗏𝗏. Like she didn't have a lot going for her in terms of like what the staging and stuff like that, but like she had her personality, she had her charisma on stage, and like that's the thing that drew people in. Same with 𝗥𝗏𝘆 and same with 𝗫𝗫. Like those are the things that they had going for them. That would make sense. I mean, I feel like they low-key just like want to like split up the categories, like so that like you can't have the same person in 5 categories. So I guess we'll give put Voyager and Taya and Selena. I mean, they were all nice. All these people were really nice. So
I don't understand what they were doing with that. If they were going to do some big old voting thing, maybe what they should have done is actually let us put in votes for who we want to see in those categories.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to have 4 people per category. Like they should have just honestly had everybody available.
They should just
have everybody available for each category and let us select the one that we thought was the best, and then we could get the top 4, because that'd be interesting to see the top 4. Like it's just random. Like y'all picked just some random ass people.
I said in my little reaction thing, I was like, it's like they chose a randomizer for the categories and the results, because it just doesn't really make sense. I did not vote in it, by the way.
I did vote in it, but I don't remember who I voted for, but I said my thought.
Because it's so fucking random. Like,
yeah, exactly. I was like, some of them I was like, I guess I'll vote for this person, I guess. But yeah, well, speaking of votes, so ESC 250 is happening. So the voting obviously has been closed. The results are going to be happening this weekend, which is very, very exciting. So if you don't know, ESC 250 is kind of like the biggest fan voting, ranking contest, where at the end of the year, at the end of the actual year, not the Eurovision year, at the end of the actual year, they do a countdown of the top 250 Eurovision songs of all time. So this is a really unique contest in the sense that you can vote for songs all the way from the beginning, and you just basically give your top 10 entries of all time. And then we get to see the results. We get to see who everybody voted for and who comes out on top. So Loreen, of course, until last year had won every single year with Euphoria. Then in 2022, Chanel beat her. And actually, it's very exciting because this year, so songfestival.be is the official ESC 250. I'm not sure what radio they're going to be hosting it on. It used to always be hosted on ESC radio, but ESC radio is clearly fucking shady, and we should not be supporting them anymore because they actually decided that they were going to make their own ESC 250 and air it. And the official, like, and songfestival.be was like, girl, what the fuck? Okay, so go support misssongfestival.be and don't support.
See, I didn't know which one I should vote in, and then I ended up not voting in any at all. So I'm giving you all like hypothetical votes that I would have put in if I had voted.
Yes, I just forgot to vote, and then all of a sudden I saw that voting had closed. But I have always voted in years past. So we're going to be giving our personal top 10 entries of all time, which is so exciting. I don't know. This is hard. Like, this is one of those things where it's really difficult, like, to only pick 10 entries of all time. That's like impossible to ask of a Eurovision fan.
It was a little bit easier for me because I had just done my birthday jury where I kind of picked my favorite songs. So it wasn't, I already had it whittled down a little bit.
Yeah. And I keep my votes from like last year. So, and I do my votes a little interesting. So I actually make myself, I'm allowed to have 5 modern songs, modern meaning year 2000 and up, and 5 songs pre-2000.
Mm.
So that's how I break it up for myself to make it a little easier. So I pick 5 modern songs and 5 vintage ESC songs, and then I rank them that way. So
as with all my rankings, it won't surprise you to know that I don't rank anything that came out before 2004, which was my first Eurovision.
Yes.
It's
maybe
just
I'll
my
maybe
personal
I'll
preference.
yeah, maybe I'll teach you a few entries in this. Okay, so we're gonna do it how we've done our rankings before, where we start from 10. I'll name my 10th, you name your 10th, or points. I don't have the points written down. Whatever.
I just pop mine in. Yeah, starting with 1 point.
Okay, so 10th place, 1 point for me went to the entry from Yugoslavia in 1990 called Hajde da Ludujemo by 𝗤𝗫. So Hajde da 𝗫𝗫𝗁 𝗥𝗶𝗄𝗏𝗧. So she's in like this pink ruche dress, and she's got this like Marilyn Monroe pink bob, and it's got these pink rhinestones. Ahead of its time, literally iconic entry. She deserves some flowers for that one because it's timeless.
So
truly.
that was 1990, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the year after that is one of the songs that I probably would have on my list if I did the older songs, which is Brazil by Babydoll, which is also a Yugoslav song.
Yeah.
Which is 91.
Yeah. They slayed those 2 years. She's the one that was in the blue and the like fucking synthetic ponytail that was tangled.
Yeah.
I want to recreate both of those looks. We should do those looks. We should be Yugoslavic queens.
Oh my god, that would be so fun. I would love to be Babydoll.
Oh my god, and I would totally do that little pink look. Well, maybe for Halloween. That'd be so fun. Anyways, plans. I always get so inspired. So who is your point?
My 1 point goes to Norway, Spirit in the Sky by Kano. Fan favorite.
It's a good one. So my 2 points, 9th place, went to Georgia, 2007, Visionary Dream by Sofo.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. This one is truly a masterpiece. Like, I just feel like it's so underrated. I feel like only like those fans that really appreciate art. I dream of tales and rhymes and visionary dreams. When I had a snake, I named my snake Sofo after Sofo. Just so good, artistic, iconic, genius, never been done before, never been seen before, political queen.
So my 2 points, another queen, Anja Nielsen with Where I Am from Denmark. There's not a lot of serious songs on my top 10, but this is one where it's just like, when you do a ballad that's so right and every element of it's so right and the lyrics are perfect and the performance is perfect and the staging is perfect, and it's just like, I just had to put it on my list. I had to, because it's iconic, and especially when it's a genre that I am not really into, to have that much of an impact on me, where, you know where I am, you know where I am. I just like, I love that one.
I'm laying down my arm.
Laying down my gun, and then the fire rain comes down. Oh, iconic.
Yeah, that one's good. So next up in my 3 points in 8th place goes to Spain, 1975, Tu Volverá by Sergio and Estibaliz. Tu volverá, tu mato vida y tu vecina. Literally, this one's just one of those ones. It's very relaxed. It's very kind of just, it's such a nice, calming vibe. And I think that's like a lot of the older songs in Eurovision, they scratch that little itch in my brain that when I'm in that mood where it's like a little rainy day or it's a slow day or I'm in my boyfriend's cabin and I just want to vibe. And like those older songs are like really come through for me in those moments. And this one just it really hit something for me in my soul. I have no idea what they're singing about. They kind of look like the main singer, she kind of looks like Wednesday Addams. She's got like jet black hair and 2 braids. And what's crazy to me is so this was new like this year my hyperfixation on this song came. And so I went to my rankings from that year. And when I ranked that when I first heard all the songs, I put that song in second to last place.
Wow.
And like I would do green for the songs I really liked, yellow for the songs I kind of liked, and red for the songs I hated. And it was in red.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm like obsessed with it. So just a beautiful, beautiful song. Anybody who hasn't heard that one should go and listen.
My 3 points goes to a beautiful song that also speaks directly to my soul, and that is "Say Na Na Na." Say na na na. Be a rainbow, be the hero, and say na na na. Say na na na. Love this song. 𝗍𝗏𝘅𝘆 amazing. I got to interview him, and he was really wonderful. He was such a nice guy.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Oh, I would love to. He's one of those personalities. He's the king of Riz.
Yes, a shoo-in for that. Oh my God, he invented Riz.
Yes. Oh Lord. So next up, my 4 points and my 7th place goes to Armenia, 2009. Inga and Anush Janjan.
Yes.
This is one of those entries, like this will always hold a special place in my heart because it was one of the first kind of like cultural, like non-English Eurovision songs that I hyperfixated on and loved when I first learned about Eurovision. And it will always be in that special place for me. It's just so, and what I love, you know what I love about their live performance is like the modern cultural outfits as well that they wear in their performance that like we don't, even when we get like a cultural bop, we don't get like that level of like culture that we see in the performance in this entry. If this one is timeless, truly. This is one of, if not Armenia's best entry ever. Like it's just so fucking good.
Yeah, that's a really good one. My 4 points goes to Ukraine, dancing lascia tumbai.
Oh,
this is where it started to get really hard for me to do the ranking because it's like I could easily put this one at 10 points. But I mean, this song, I just love this song. This is one of the songs that I put on when I just like feel like I need to get pumped up and I need a little bit of energy. It's just like impossible to like be sad when you listen to that song.
That's another one that's just like timeless. It will never get old. It will always be iconic. Yeah. So my 5 points, my 6th place is from 1971 and it is from Monaco. It is the winner of that year and it is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 This song, it's just so fucking good. Ballad done right, timeless, iconic entry. Like Monaco, like, girl, I met you in Monaco. Yes, yes, I still have it. The necklace. Yeah.
I definitely don't know that song.
You don't know that? It's a winner, girl.
It's a winner.
It won.
Well, that's funny because the next one that I have, my 5 points, is my favorite winner, which is Molitva. I love this song. Again, this is another one where it's like, I'm not super into ballads really, but like when you have the right ballad for me, when it just hits the right notes, it just stuck with me. And this is my all-time favorite winner.
That's crazy. So then everyone you have above this is not winners?
No, I don't. That's the only winner I have on my list.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, my 6 points go to, and my 5th place goes to Spain 2022 Slow-Mo by Chanel. Yeah, so this was the winner of ESC 250 last year. And this one will just forever be, I mean, it is honestly, it is the greatest performance in Eurovision that I've seen in terms of like live performance, choreo, everything like that. It was insane. It was insane on TV. It was insane live. This was one of those entries where I like actually feel honored, the privilege to have been able to see this live in the arena multiple times. So fucking good. Chanel is just a star. It kind of kills me that they kind of fumbled the bag with her, but it is what it is. But it's just so good. It's so good. I get the hype. Like, I get the Spanish hype. It was amazing. They should be proud.
I'm interested to see what is going to happen this year, because obviously there was like, kind of a mass vote situation going on, but I don't think that momentum is there this year. So like, where is she going to end up on the list?
Well, I will say, I do know they did give a teaser out, and they did say it was a brand new winner this year that has never won before. So we know she did not win.
Well,
we know Loreen didn't win. At least Euphoria didn't win.
Well, I think then we know who won.
I think we know who won.
Well, that's exciting. Okay, so my 6 points also goes to a song from 2022, a song that got more televote points than Slow-Mo, which was 𝗃𝗏𝗄𝗃 by 𝗍𝗏𝘅𝘆 𝗥𝗶𝗄𝗆 and 𝗍𝗏𝘅𝘆. I love my daddies. I love my Moldovan daddies. I can't get enough of my Moldovan daddies.
Oh my God. You would have loved it on the turquoise carpet in Turin, because they brought all their instruments and they were playing them up and down the turquoise carpet. And it was just that was one of those like moments where I was like, this is Eurovision, bitch. I feel so honored to be at Eurovision right now and experience this.
Did I ever tell you about the like little press call that I did with them? It was so funny. So I did a press call. It was a press conference, and like they played a few songs and they took questions from people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was up at literally like 5 o'clock in the morning for this thing, because they're so far ahead. They're like 3 hours ahead or something. And when it was my turn to ask a question, like I had said, like I started off by saying, it's so amazing. Like I'm in the United States and I woke up at, 5 a.m. to get on this call and to have this little private concert in my living room. Like, it's amazing. Thank you guys. And they were like, you're in the United States and you're on this call. They were like, you woke up that early to hear us? And then they could see my dog in the background, and one of the daddies takes out his phone and puts a picture of his dog and like holds it up to the webcam to show me his dog. And they're asking me all kinds of questions. Like literally, I asked them, because you could only have one question. I asked, what was your reasoning with the change, the revamp? Because the first one was a little bit more folklore, the second was a little bit more rock and roll. So talk to me about that decision. And they were like, well, which one do you like? And I'm like, wait, I'm the one who's asking the question. Like, why are you putting me on the spot like that? And then it ended up getting into this whole thing, and they were like, we're so amazed that you like feel the music. And I was like, well, my family came from Poland. And they're like, that's it. Your family, they're from the Carpathian Mountains, and we have the Carpathian Mountains. So it's in your blood. It's in your blood. That's why you understand the music.
Oh my God.
These people are amazing. I love these people. Like, I just will. That was one of my moments, because I did not go in 2022. So that was kind of actually really my only like artist connection moment was with them.
That's so cool. Those are the types of moments that like will stick with you for a lifetime, that are just so special. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that ever happened.
Yeah, wow. It is like, it's those moments where it's not just like you're asking a question. So what's your staging going to be like?
Yeah. Like it's like there's an actual connection there, which is really cool. Well, my 7 points goes to 1975 Finland. Okay. Old Man Fiddle by 𝗵𝗇. Bitch, guys, get on this damn song. I'm telling you, I never heard of nobody ever mention this song ever in the fandom, ever. I never see anybody say this song. This song is so freaking good. The door, it starts off so slow. The door opens wide. Every head turns around to stare. Dong, 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 dong. And then it's like, oh my
God.
And it gets so twangy and cool. And I feel like I'm on the mountains and I'm like in the movie Hoodwinked and I got the goat singing to me and he's like, be prepared, be prepared. Like I am like, that's the vibe that I fall into. And I'm going to make Renata, when we are in Finland, bitch, I'm making her film some sort of TikTok or video of me lip syncing to this damn song in some weird obscure moment, because it's like this song is so fucking good to me. It's so fucking obscure. I don't feel like anybody even knows this entry. But it's one that, like, first of all, it kills me that it's not on Spotify. They only have the finished version, but it's not the same. Like, it's not the same instrumental or anything. It's like, oh, it's so good.
I don't know that one. Maybe I'll have to react to it. You'll have to send me the link.
Yes, you should. It will get no views because literally nobody's searching that song up.
My viewers are like 50% from Finland, so
Oh,
they will watch it, actually.
That's true, actually. Oh my God.
Okay, so my 7 points. Last time we were over in Moldova, we're just going to go over to their neighbor, to Romania, for a little bit of yodelay, 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 yodel it. This is one of those songs that, like, when I'm like showing Eurovision to a new friend, like yodel it is one of the things that I like to show them, because it's just like, it just always gets a reaction, whether it's positive or negative, it just always gets a reaction. And I love this one. Like, there's so many stupid things, like they roll out giant cannons onto it's just like, it's very silly and fun, and like, why is she yodeling? Why not?
That one is so Eurovision. I remember when that year was happening, and I was forcing my physics teacher to play that song for all the students in my class to listen to, because I always made him play the like weird ones, and that was one of them. Well, whereas you went to the neighbor, I'm staying local, girl, because my 8 points is going to Finland again, but this time it's going to 2023. Cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha. So yeah, I mean, I just think this is I really truly think this is one of the best Eurovision entries of all time. Bitch, listen, we've talked about it in depth. The riz of it all, girl, the performance, the vision, everything. I mean, girl, this man has taken us to Finland. Like,
yeah,
like he's got some sort of superpowers. We're staying in his house.
That's right. We're staying in his house. It'll a little bit rub off on us.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he'll
rub on us. That would be
I was gonna say that, but then I thought I shouldn't say it. But you said it.
I said it. It was my words, not yours.
And you know what? I would not be. Well, listen, I'll say it too. I wouldn't be mad.
Nope, I would not be mad at all. Hey, my 8 points goes to Belgium with Rhythm Inside, 𝗏𝗏𝘅𝘅𝘆. I just love this song. This is one of those ones where everything's perfect. And it's another one that I show to people when I want to show them like what Eurovision like is. Because this is one of those like normal songs. Like it is a little bit more of like a out of the box pop song, but it is a normal pop song, whereas like Yodel It is not a normal pop song.
It's not, but yeah. I
know that you don't like that one.
I do like it. I don't know why every time you mention it, I always feel the need to be like, I don't like it, because I do like it.
It's because you don't love it. If you don't love it, that's equivalent to not liking it. But like, this was the winner of my birthday jury.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Very tasteful winner.
Tasteful. Didn't get my vote. But you know who did get my vote was my homeland. 1996 Ireland, with my 10 points, went to the winner of that year, The Voice by Emer Quinn. I am the voice of the wind and the pouring rain. I am the voice of your hunger and pain. Renata, please do not give that fucking reaction. This is the greatest old Eurovision entry of all fucking time. How don't you know this entry?
I don't watch the old ones.
Renata, this is timeless. This is an entry that has had such significant impact. This is like Irish culture. Like it's like when you look up like Irish folk music and like traditional Irish folk music, this comes up. Like this is like ingrained in fucking Irish culture is this song. It's like iconic.
How come no one ever talks about it? It's a winner?
The bitch, everybody talks about it.
Oh. People talk about Johnny Logan. They don't talk about.
She's the greatest Irish winner ever. For sure. Oh. For sure. I'm sure most people would not disagree with that too.
Well, my 10 points, not a winner, not even a qualifier for the final. It's Vampires Are Alive.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I gave my 12 points to Vampires Are Alive. I would have been one of the only people probably that gave 12 points, give any points to Vampires Are Alive. But I did see somebody tweeted today that Vampires Are Alive is iconic, and they were so real for that.
And they chewed.
They chewed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I love DJ Bobo, and I'll never apologize.
That's like that. That for you is Old Man Fiddle for me, because almost like voting for it is a throwaway because you know it's not good. Well, actually, I would not be surprised if Vampires Are Alive did show up on the rankings, but like Lord knows Old Man Fiddle ain't showing up on there. But I gotta pay it its dues. But yeah, and so then it comes to our personal winners. So I feel like these shouldn't be shockers because I'm sure we've addressed it at some point of like our favorite Eurovision entry of all time. I know I have. It should be obvious, even though Renata got it wrong in our little top or bottom game. I don't know how, but my winner is 2016 Ukraine, 𝗤𝗏𝘆, 1944. This is my favorite Eurovision entry of all time. I don't think it will ever change. My love for 𝗤𝗏𝘆 grows stronger and stronger every single day. She is just an icon. This song is so iconic. It's just like so powerful. Never has a song like really hit the way that 1944 does and still does. Yeah.
That's a good one. That is a good one. No surprise here. My 12 points goes to 𝗤𝗏𝘅. This song has just like changed the trajectory of my life, honestly. Like if it hadn't been for that song and like the way that it impacted me and my channel, like it really like that was when people started watching my videos. No one watched my videos before that. And like getting wrapped into Finnish culture and learning Finnish. And I've been able to do so many cool things because I'm part of like the Finlandia Association in the United States. And I've like met all these people, and like I had just moved here and I didn't know anybody. So it's like the Finnish fixation has given me like a new like group of people that I can network with and go to picnics and stuff with and hockey games with. And like and now we're about to go to Finland, and like I've been planning for a whole year because I was in the Finnish newspaper because of my like obsession with him. So for me, it was like I had to knock DJ Bobo down to second place to put 𝗥𝗏𝘅 up in first place.
Yeah. I'm sure the DJ would not mind that decision.
He'd be thrilled to know that anyone is talking about him.
And isn't it so cool to just think like how much music and like an entry can impact your life in such a way? Because like I don't think if I got into Eurovision years prior, I mean maybe I would have, but like 1944 just had such an impact on me when I first heard it that I had never experienced with music ever in my life, and I never have since. Like it's just, and then that was the year I got into Eurovision. That was one of the first Eurovision songs I ever listened to. And where would my life have been if I never got into Eurovision? If I just heard about it, but if I didn't get obsessed with 𝗤𝗏𝘆, then maybe I would have never become obsessed with Eurovision to the way that I am and become like such a super fan, and then it impact my entire life and be like literally be my entire life. And and all the opportunities that have come from that since then. Like, I just think like, oh my God, if I never discovered Eurovision, my life would be so fucking different.
We wouldn't even be friends. We wouldn't know each other.
Yeah. Which is wild because we were living in the same city.
Yeah.
But it's so cool how it connects us. And I don't know, Eurovision people are the only people I like.
I don't even like them sometimes.
I was gonna say I hate a lot of them.
I love you. Love all of our viewers and listeners. We love you guys. You're the good Euro fans.
But it's like I genuinely don't think I can be friends with people that don't like at least appreciate Eurovision. Like I could never, like there are some interests of mine, like, okay, I could be friends with people that don't care about Real Housewives or Drag Race, but I couldn't be like best friends with someone if they don't know or don't care about Eurovision, don't take an interest in it, even if it's just for like friendship. Like,
yeah,
my boyfriend's not a fan, but like he takes interest in it because, you know, and so I appreciate that. But like if somebody couldn't, you know, I just think of that friend group that dropped me. And I'm like, you know, yeah, exactly. But so yeah, so oh my gosh, what a good way to round off the year. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for supporting us with this podcast starting this year. This is the end of 2023. This is the last episode of 2023, but it's not the end of the podcast, girl. It is just the fucking beginning. We got some crazy shit. I can't wait for everything to like really be planned so we could really reveal like all of our plans.
Because we have secrets, you guys. We have fucking secrets. We have stuff that we have not been able to tell you that is really exciting. So
yeah.
you just got to be ready because there's going to be so much amazing content on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I really feel like, oh, this is going to be one of the coolest years in my Eurovision experience ever. Like, I don't know. It's just it's fixing to be an amazing year with amazing experience. I'm so excited to go into the new year with you, Renata, with bestie Renata. I'm so glad that we're friends, and I don't know. I'm just so glad that we not reconnected, but like stayed together in Liverpool, because like again, that's another one of those moments. Like, if we never did that, then I don't know. We probably wouldn't be doing all of these things together, like coming forward. I feel like it was just like
we wouldn't have known that we can talk for what actually right now is 3.5 hours. I see up in the corner that we could talk for hours and hours and hours and just have it feel like no time went by at all, because that is a requisite for doing a podcast. You cannot do a podcast if you cannot talk for hours on end. But like if I hadn't come when I did, and it would have just been, we would have run into each other at some of the parties and probably taken a few pictures together, because I would have looked amazing and you would have looked amazing. But we would have never been able to get to the point where we had free flowing conversations. It would have just been surface level stuff. And yeah, it's just like so lucky. It's so lucky. Thanks to Jamala and thanks to Karia for turning this friendship into a joint sleigh.
Yes! Oh my gosh. And thank you guys so much for listening. Of course, if you like this episode, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, to review the podcast. And thank you to our patrons. And if you would like to support the podcast, support our journey to Eurovision 2024 related things, and also get some special content over there, make sure you subscribe on Patreon. And yeah, guys, my name is Maxxy Rainbow.
And I'm Renata from the E-Spot.
And we will see you all next week. Goodbye.